I would like to thank Sanji for the 35th month. Look at that. And Ollie Eagle for the 25th. Look at it. Do we get a hype train before I even get out of my introduction? Look at that, baby. Here we go. 5 gifted subs. Sanji did really trying. He really tried to, like, grease the wheels over here for the 5e Warlord Design Contest results. All right. I would like to... I see Ollie Eagle gifted a sub, too. Let's see. Oh, okay. I will eventually get to my intro. If you are watching this VOD, you're just going to bear with me a little bit. Oh, here we go. We got 100 card decks. We got bribery. We got everything. So, hello, folks. Welcome to the 5e Warlord Design Contest results stream. So, Chris Nirvana Tool here. And if you have been following the channel, you saw my little teaser video where we are giving away some of the preview decks from Gen Con. I got them unwrapped. That's right. The little vac stream tape, it's gone. So you can actually see they're real. You can view them. They exist. We're going to give away all 3 on this stream in case, you know, I didn't make that clear in the first few. I was kind of like, yeah, maybe the winner will get one. The top 3 are going to get it. And, you know, you're going to pick an order. So I first want to thank everybody who participated. It is not rigged. Get out of here. I had to weigh and read and measure and consider. I think it was, the final total was like 48 warlords, something like that, out of 30 plus individuals, maybe even 50. Hold on, let me take a look. That's right, beat them drums of war. In total, it was 47 warlords that were submitted. Some of you felt really confident in just your one warlord and submitted only that, but others went with 2. One guy sent me like 6. That was fun. Shout out to Lime Pulp. We'll talk about you a little later on the show too, but just shout out to you, Lime Pulp, always in the comment section on YouTube, so I really much enjoy that. But it was an interesting exercise to kind of go through this. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to go through all 47 of them and give them each individual grades. I do have individual grades, but I will talk about my process of how I eventually kind of come down to it. I'm going to show you the top 10, and I will grade top 10 and explain my grading on all of that. But I also want to show, there's a lot of them that I kind of think just I want to show, one because I just thought they were awesome and fun, even if they weren't in the top 10, or just to kind of illustrate some kind of thinking. Maybe some just to kind of show things I didn't like. I do have to show that. I don't want to shit on everyone's ideas, and that's one of the things I'm trying not to do. There's obviously some ideas that I did not like, and then there are some ideas that I absolutely love that I think everybody else will hate. But that's just kind of like the name of the game. I think you all kind of knew what you signed up for, and I kind of hopefully made that clear. Like, this is, if everyone's going to be, I feel like there will be some people who are mad no matter what I do. They're going to be like, why didn't you pick my design? My design was better than the one you picked. And, you know, this is all an opinion. This is like measuring like who's the greatest band ever. You can go by record sales, sure, but like it's art. Like, this is you guys coming up with creative ideas. You're coming up with trying to appease me and throwing out the random vac factor. There's a lot to this, but really seeing how all of you approached it was really something I very much considered. There were definitely some who took it way more serious than others, which, you know, that will be affected. Look at this. I had to explain my layout already, guys. Yes, I'm going to show, you know, like, we are going to go into warlords that didn't make it, but obviously before I critique, I'm literally about to critique everybody's babies as they, like, you know, made up warlords. I need to, of course, you know, I need to join in that criticism, right? So I am showing you all Vasharash. I know what it's like to design a warlord. I have designed a warlord. And let me tell you, when I look at this warlord as I design it now, if you were like, back, grade this warlord, I think I would rip it apart. Even though I love a lot of the flavor here. I obviously love the name. I love the suit techness. I love the cleric assassin one. But look at how much text I put on this damn card. There were so many abilities I wanted to jam into this card, and I did, and Rich Carter didn't tell me no. And I really wish he told me to stop, because that was the one thing too that I wanted to also point out here. Like, obviously this is a 5e Warlord Design Contest, and I got so many questions. People like, Vac, what does that mean? We only got demo decks. Like, that's all I have to go on. And it's like, yeah, the demo decks is what you got, and you know you're designing for a small pool that, you know, we don't really know a lot about of. So in that case, simple might be a little bit better. But, you know, like, that's kind of where I was thinking. So, like, obviously Vacherosh, I would not put him in 5e. I think good old Zadok over here is a better Warlord for sure. It's a lot more elegant. It's simple, but it's super powerful and tricksy and fun to play. So that's just kind of giving you guys. I'm gonna shit all over my Vacherosh over here. Like, just you didn't need rogue actions. It's just the idea of a cleric assassin was so cool. But then I also want monster, and then I like Toothful Tiger's Lies. Let's throw that in as a card. It's like, come on. Oh, look at this, Graham with the sub. Appreciate it. Did I miss any other subs while I was doing my little soliloquy over here, or was it just a bunch of sound alerts? I know there was a bunch of people calling me rigged, but yes. So anyway, this, you know, I have to kind of show this, and also it kind of blocks my view of the things I'm showing right here too. So anyway, let's go into it. First, again, a reminder of the rules for anyone who might just decided they want to look at some random designed warlords. Get out of here, Graham. Be redeeming channel points for that. That comes at the end, all right? We're here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to crown some Warlord designing champion. But I do want to kind of go a little bit through the rules. Obviously, everybody was able to submit 2. Some of you were able to figure out Google Forms. Some of you were technically challenged, which is fine.
Yes, it is cool, I thought.
That is
free
hat. Thank you very much. So some of you were technically challenged, computer illiterate, if you will. But we made it work, and we got there. I think there was, from the moment I made that video to now, I think there may have been like 4 days where I did not get a ping asking me about this. You know, this contest, or a question for clarification, or some other thing. I don't like where those sound alerts are, so I'm just going to move them over to a more visible area. So don't mind me, live production value, because they're kind of blocking the chat, and that's kind of dumb. So Midge is trying to summon Midge. There you go. All right, cool. That kind of helps me see where you're at. All right, that's a little better.
Rigged.
There we go. Okay, I kind of like that better. That's where we're going to put the alerts over there. But give a little bit of the rules. You all were able to submit 2. Most of you did. Some of you didn't. But I ranked you on various categories, and I can kind of explain what each of those were. One is playability. If I picked up
Gab,
this
say
Warlord,
illegal board state.
it
Go
is
away.
not an illegal board state. Stop abusing that one. Get out of here. But the playability is this a playable Warlord? Can I play this? Will it be competitive? Will it be usable? You know, most of you didn't really ever have problems with that. I think there might have been too powerful in some cases. But there are some that were underpowered, for sure, I would say. So, like, that's kind of things I kind of considered there. Balance, it's a similar term in playability. And again, a lot of these kind of, you know, they all link together. So, but it's just kind of like slightly different. So you'll see similar scores across some of them. It's kind of a way to avoid doing like half points or whatever it is. But balance, same thing. Is this not overpowered, and is it not underpowered? Uniqueness, is this something we haven't seen before, or is it just, you know, in a sense, a really cool idea? It's like, wow, like I didn't really think about that. Creativity is in the same light, but also there might be some other aspects to creativity, like how were you creative? Like, you know, just flashiness too, which also kind of falls into cosmetics, which is this card formatted correctly? Is it worded correctly? Is it ready to go to print now? And to be clear, I did not penalize anybody because you didn't have like a layout maker. I know we all had one available with Accordlands, but just in case somebody wanted to do like a custom frame, like if they were going to do something different, like I didn't want to hold that against you, so I didn't do that for sure. But in terms of, you know, how does the art look within the card, I definitely considered that. Spelling, I considered that, you know, even though Kingswood Games themselves do not spell check their cards, I like to think we're a little bit better than them. So I definitely considered that. But really, it was mostly just kind of like, does this look like a Warlord card? Like, it looked like a Warlord card, sounded like a Warlord card, felt like a Warlord card. It was a Warlord card, and you got points for that. And then there was the VAC factor, which was literally just my bias. You know, did I really like this? Like, is this super cool? Then I look at that and I go, that's fucking awesome. That was really all it was for. And there come, you know, I realized that, like, for that, most of it was like a range of like 9 to 7 for all of those VAC factors. I did give, I think I gave a 1 and a 0 on the VAC factors to a few options, which I will show a little later and explain why. But you know, that's really it. So without further ado, I kind of want to go into, before I start showing the top 10, I want to show, let's talk about some things I didn't like. And why are so many of you sending me, oh my God, like, you, newsflash, if you're watching me stream right now, I can't answer your messages. Okay, guys, I'm just letting you know that. All you're doing is annoying me with notifications. Please annoy me with sound alerts instead. That's what they're here for. All right, let's get going. So I do want to talk a little bit about what I didn't like. So, like, what were some of these common themes that I saw in cards that I didn't like? I would say, I'm pulling up my notes. I took notes. See, I did homework for this one, guys. The biggest thing that I didn't like is a lot of people wanted to put additional cards on their one Warlord. They wanted to put a Warlord, but then they wanted to make sure that they start with this item in play, or they have this separate card that is always attached to them. And to me, that doesn't feel like Warlord. That feels like a Medusan Lord, like that, or an Overlord even. Like, you know, like that, just that level. It's not something I like. There are examples of cards having like that kind of ability that I like. For example, Kilkameth, I think, is an awesome 4E Warlord, summoning the Forest of Bone. Like, that is the I would say that's the staple of having quote unquote additional cards tied to your Warlord, something like that. There are some like that may or may not have ranked high. So there were some that pulled it off good, and then there are some that are not. So without further ado, let me go into one I didn't like. I'd say, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna I guess I gotta call. All right, fine. Sorry, Jens, good old Scape G. I will call yours out because I do think, one, it was the most overpowered because of all these items here. But I do want to talk about and show you, like, what too much additional items look like. So let's get rid of Vash over here. So Scape G wanted to go for Guts as a Warlord from Berserker, the anime. He also mentioned that he knows Woodrow always wanted a Guts Warlord. So I don't know why he told me that, thinking it might help me out, but if it's something that Woodrow wanted, I definitely am already going to give you a worse score. But, like, Guts, so Guts over here, like, starts the game with Mark of Sacrifice. He spelled sacrifice wrong, by the way. But it is neither here nor there. But it also has a limited order to discard a card and search for one of 3 specific cards, which are all ones he did. So there's already 4 cards attached to this one Warlord. So let's take a look at those cards. First, there was Mark of Sacrifice. Cannot be discarded, so it's already Medusan level. At the start of your turn, put a Lamb of Sacrifice token under the control of the opponent. So there's already a 5th card now, which is a level 1 character, which when it dies, it gives your Warlord +1 level permanently for equipping items. And then when you look at those items, which you can tutor for by discarding a card just once per turn, you have Berserker Armor, which, you know, kill 1 lamb and tap back, you have this. So now you're at 21, 5 hit point, ignore planner, or do an additional wound, ignore planner and do additional wounds, and you can suffer a wound already. You have a weapon, which is unique, that says react, no prisoners. Not once per turn, no limit. Gives you 8 attack, gives you 3 AC. And then a hand cannon, which lets you once per turn do a +8 range strike within 1 rank, and then move forward or backward 1 rank. So, like, this was a Medusan Lord level card. And it's like, if this was designed in Overlord or designed in Medusa Lord, I might like this one. But I was like, he has been playing way too much Flesh and Blood. I love you, man, but this card was insane. When I saw this submission, I was like, Jens, what are you doing, my man? So, I still, shout out to him, though. I still do love him. But I will say that, like, those additional cards, that's stuff you don't want to do. There are another example, might be a little less than that. Let me show you additional cards that were underpowered. So, I'm just going to bear with me a little bit. I have to do this in a weird way. For my production value, just to be a little easier. I'm sorry, but we're gonna get the big cards in. Don't worry. Here we go. So this one, good old Ray Greaves sent over this one, and he even asked me about it via text beforehand. He's like, "Hey, are you gonna penalize me if I add additional cards? Like, how do I do that?" And I told him not to do it, and he still did it anyway. But he sent over a fighter monk that comes with its own action card. Its action card is Soulstorm. After this character hits with a melee strike, perform a plus X melee strike after the strike resolves. That may not receive bonuses to the die roll. X is equal to the number of soul storms in your discard pile. And then you cantrip and draw a card. So this is a spell. So the one thing is, this Warlord's got plus 0 attack. And then it's just, after he kills a character with a melee strike, remove it from the game, banish it, and then shuffle a soul storm. So like that's how you get it. So it's not too powerful on how you get those cards, but I think it's underpowered. I think it's really hard to get those cantrip cards that you might not draw. So I just thought like this was an underpowered way to use additional cards. Like Fish, you can give this guy more attack than plus 0, plus 0, plus 0. So like I would not do that. But I already see people in the comments railing on the Fish. I will already, I can kind of show you. This is one of Fish's designs. The other Fish design I really liked, and it's an honorable mention. It was 1 point short of the cut. I do like Duke Lorien over here as a really cool Devaredian with the charge mechanic, using it for others. It's kind of like, it's almost like a spell thief, I guess it would kind of be. The only thing I don't like is spend order exhaust a Devaredian wizard. What game uses exhaust as terminology? Come on, Fish. You got to revise the template. This isn't Legion. This is Warlord. But yeah, exactly. I thought this was an awesome card, though, Fish. So I did really like this one, but it is an honorable mention. You are 1 point short. So these are the kind of examples of additional cards. So let me get rid of this. What else do my notes say that I hated? Look at that. I think those are the examples I can show you for like additional cards or whatever. But another thing I saw a lot of, there's no specific example here. Too much going on. Like you saw with Vasharash, how I had so many abilities. Like, some people want even more abilities than me. Like, they wanted to cram. There were some people, like, my Warlord has to have 2 classes, 2 subclasses, 2 feats, additional HP. Like all this, and then 2 abilities. And it's like, that's like a lot. I mean, like, you can kind of look at the Dwarf Warlord right now, and you can kind of, like, yeah, he's kind of like that too. It's a little less because like each one of those kind of like fit well together. Each of these kind of like the like people would do that, but there's no reason other than just this is good and I want it. So like that was kind of what I saw a lot of. Sloppy templating and spelling mistakes. I will say there were some people who pulled the good old Rain Blythewood and forgot to give their Warlord classes. One of you corrected it. The other didn't. So we'll talk about that a little later. But so there's things like that. And then just obviously like spelling mistakes. Like how we saw like Market Sacrifice. Like, well, you can't start with that item that you designed because you spelled it wrong. So like that's like things like that. What else we got? Another thing is like I saw a lot of people were trying to basically just take another already existing card and just improve it, or like already like let me take a ability that another faction has done and then just put it into others. So like that's kind of like the build a Warlord mentality, I think, where it's kind of like I guess that's why a lot of people did that, because they're so used to that, like, oh cool, like here's all these abilities that I can spend points on and get additional mileage out of a Warlord. But like, oh, I've always wanted a Nothrog with Alisara's ability. like, let me do that. And it's like some people kind of did that, and it's just like, this is a Warlord I've already seen before. It's just a different skin, and there was a reason why it wasn't in this faction, because it might be a little too good. So things like that. I can show. Let me see if this is the right one. Because good old meme of the show. This could be an example of that. Good old meme of the show, Resto, whose Warlord's ranked really high. Resto, you actually did a really good job on both of yours. But let me show you Dame Blackthorn. Discard a level X card from your hand, search your deck for a level X or lower character and put it into play. Like, this isn't exactly Alisar, but this is Dev already in Alisar. And then the limited react is Dev already in Salazar. So that's kind of like an example of this. Like, this one, I think is, you're either 1 or 2 points from the cut. But like, both your Warlords were both really done well. So I will applaud you for that, but they were just short. And something like this, like, I could see this being a playable Warlord, but to me, like, looking at this, it's like, this is just reskinning already existing Warlords. So to me, that was kind of like like, compared to the field where I saw some other newer ideas, like, I kind of favored those a little bit more. What else we got? Oh, yeah. I already mentioned that. I already mentioned the Forgotten Classes. Good. Let me pull up the next one, which I thought was funny. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh man, guys, this is harder than it looks. I swear. I forgot the name of this. So, good old Yotaka fish, from Japan. I'm gonna show you his word. Okay, cool. I found it. It's really hard to scroll through this, guys. I promise. So, this was his Warlord. He actually wrote out some like a really cool story about how this is like based off of memory, the old dwarf wizard. Which was really cool. And then I look, it's like, oh, Chaos True Word. All right, let me look at this. Put an item equipped to Nishi Iron Line. And I'm like, who's Nishi Iron Line? I was like, did he also do an additional card? I don't know. Like, nope, he just changed the name somewhere along the line. So, like, I saw funny things like that they make me laugh. But there's also another thing about Yotaka fishes that makes me laugh. I'm gonna hide this for a sec. So this is Yotaka fishes, right? Well, I just so happened to be reading some of the other submissions, ones that are not too far away, and then, you know, all of a sudden I just kind of was like, seen this art before. Bobby Zabrowski, good old Forged Cake, used the exact same artwork as Yotaka fish. So both of them put Artificer Dwarf into Google and took the first image. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That very much made me laugh, especially because it's an old grizzled dwarf smoking a cigar, which was very funny. But yeah, so kind of showing those off. It wasn't the first. Oh, you both think alike. Look at that. Oh man, that was too funny. And then there is one other one that I want to show. Oh, what am I doing? Thankfully, you guys cannot see what I'm doing because it is not cool. It's going to be under a different number. I got to make sure I get to the right place. Alrighty, here we go. I will show you the Warlord that got a VAC factor of 0. And that would be good old Collector, good old Wes, who's learning Twitch to watch this. I want to tell you the only reason I gave this a VAC factor of 0. This is a finely designed Warlord. It's a stealth in Rogue that has its own tokens and uses them pretty okay. But it is so unsettling to look at the teeth token. I looked at this artwork. I'm like, that's actual teeth. Oh, like, I don't want to see this. Like, so I'm like, the VAC factor of 0. Like, I don't want to look at these teeth. And I don't want to look at this frightening fairy with teeth. Like, what are you doing? So, there was also another one that lost on VAC factor. Good old Kevin Leach over here. His the very last submission over here. I do not like soft leather armor. And he built the suit tech completely around soft leather armor. Come on, man. that hit a little too close to home. It's kind of like I could appreciate the rib, but I suffered through this. Thank you. The art's cool. I do like this. I think this is a 3D art of just like a lizard in soft leather armor. So I do kind of like that. You were personally attacked, Wes. All right, I had to look at those teeth. All right, it's called a repost. But yeah. So come on, Kev. You think I'm gonna give high points to someone who praises soft leather armor? How dare you? But I did get a good laugh out of that, so I appreciate that. Before we get to the top, I do want to shout out a few more people. So Lime Pulp, I mentioned him a little earlier in the show. Sent me 2 of his submissions. Neither of them made the cut, but he also sent me like here's 4 more that I built with ball rules that like he just really liked. He also the one that he submitted, like he worked with the artist to make sure that he had permission to do this. He was even offering to buy it. So like to me, like wow, okay, he's going the extra mile. But I do want to show the one that I really liked, and this thing won't let me scroll for it. I don't know why. Okay. I think anyone who's about my age would also appreciate this card. This is the last one. This one for fun. It's just Falcor as a chosen dragon, and that just warmed my heart. I thoroughly just love this. So thank you for being so into the contest and just sending all that. Like I very much. This put a smile on my face seeing good old Falcor. So I do love that. So thank you very much. Who else we giving shout outs to? Oh man, I'm gonna have to pull this up too. I forgot to pull it up. Oh no. Gut the Hungry Shepherd. I love this artwork. It is a big fat giant that is throwing literal mutton at people. This was the awesome flavor. I will have to I can find this. Okay. I'm going to, in his submission, when you can give extra stuff to Gut the Hungry Shepherd, he wrote, Gut 2 favorite things are eating mutton and fighting. A sheep being thrown and killing an enemy means twice the food to eat. He doesn't have need of armor. Fat is armor. He doesn't need weapons. Sheep is weapons. And I just absolutely love that. So I must shout that out. Another thing that just put a smile on my face. So this is just exact 25 Steed deck. It's so funny. So kudos. I didn't even see your name. So like the submission was RPF. And you had a Canadian thing, so RPF from Canada. I think you're like Zombie Sex Machine on YouTube or whatever, because I see you commented. So shout out to you as well. I think you're the same person. I hope you're the same person, because that was very fun. At least your name was in the Zombie Sex Machine is in your name for the file. So kudos on this. This was awesome. Does not make the cut though. I think he is a little too strong. I don't even remember the grades. Let me take a look. I can see that. Yeah, you only lost points in balance, like and playability. I think he's a little too good, but other than that, I thought it was awesome. Who else am I showing before we get to this? So the 2 examples of that we saw with the fish. One thing I want to shout out for the fish is he actually painted. Those are his artwork. So. There were a few people who did that. I do want to show you guys their work. Obviously, if someone's gonna take the time to literally make their own art for this, like it deserves to be shown. So let's go to Rodrigo. I gotta show Rodrigo's too. I'm pretty sure this was water painted. Like almost the entire card layout looks this. I mean, forgive my ignorance if I'm not 100% on this, but this Sutek Rogue, this also is just shy of the cut, only because I love a Sutek Range Striker that makes good old brine drones, but because it's literally a watercolor. But the best thing that I loved about it was illustration by me. So to be like, yeah, it was me who did it. Just I'm not gonna credit the artist. I'm me. Like that was just amazing, and I loved every second of it. But You did this one, and then, every Dwarven loyalist will love this one. Axe and Hammer. Made them as warlords. I don't know why they're level 4. You could have went to level 5. This is kind of just like Tech and Ket, but like maybe a little bit better. Or not Tech and Ket, Mac and Macabre. But yeah, exactly. Fridge art, 100%. I love it. Thank you, Rodrigo, for doing this. Especially when I saw Axe and Hammer, I'm like, oh, I'm all about it. And the suit tech, so you have definitely done your homework. You know, I do love me some good campy dwarves. Oh, it just scrolled to that. Let's go back. Look at Fish. He's trying to get his art in here. But Axe and Hammer, this was awesome, and the suit tech were awesome. So kudos to you, and appreciate the artwork. I did like to. I don't. No, these aren't his artwork, but I want to shout out Bane as well. Yeah, it's a little too. Let me see if I can. There we go. I wanted to get yours in the full frame here. Like, I thought these frames, even though I kind of cropped them in like the black and good, that's just because of me and how I did my layout here on OBS. But like these were like absolutely print ready and high res. Like some of the other ones we're gonna see are a little blurry. This one was absolutely perfect. So I did like that. It was, and you knew I liked Rain Strikers too. You went with this. The only thing I don't like about this one right here, other than like fact it looks good, it's like Lady Jacqueline Rowan. Where's the traitor trait? You gotta give me the traitor trait. This elf is a traitor going to the devs. You can tell me someone went from Dragonbane's house and went to go hang out with Gracchus willingly and doesn't get the traitor trait? Come on now, what is that? But I do love the layout. I think these of the ones I all saw, these ones like, okay, these are Warlord cards. Like the actual art. Like look at the font was perfect. The only thing is obviously like your little custom cards over here. But if those just match the font, but otherwise this looks pristine and probably almost real. It is not Tekken Cat. Get out of here. Tekken Cat is cool too. Don't worry. Is there anyone else? I think I got all my shout outs in. Oh no, there's one more. How could I forget? Hold on. The best was, so we already talked about a lesser leech. There was a better leech. Good old Nino, who made a submission. And on his submission, he's like, I don't really know how to do the art, so I just did whatever. Here is, let's see. He literally took a picture of his hand drawing in his notebook, which looks like his D&D character, and just like, yeah, here we go. This is my Warlord art. So I love that. So shout out to you, Nino. And even then, when I showed Kevin, he's like 12 AC planner. That's so good. It's like, nope. Don't worry. Nino knows this game better than you, Kev. So I really like this one, Nino. So, but like just the picture of the D&D character, like that was awesome. So I like it. It does kind of look like Asa, the Chosen. So there you go. But those are, I think that's all the shout outs I want to do. So now we're gonna go to the we're gonna get to the cut here. So I'm gonna show you the top 10. So again, based off of grading on a scale of 1 to 10 for each category, I went through every single card and did that for them. All right, this is the one through that I'm gonna do, and then I calculated the absolute, you know, just what is the total there, and then I looked to see the numbers. A lot of the numbers were really close, and like, but I really wanted to give it to me. Like, all right, all of the top 10, like I think the top 4 had 50 points, and then 5 through 10 had 49 points. So everybody was like real close, and that's what I saw once the numbers came out, like how close it was. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna take these top 10 now, and then everybody has like, these are the points and how they are. Let me now just look deeper and just kind of, this is where I need to focus on, and then just decide who the winner is based on the order. So the points were kind of used to get me into that big clump into the cut, and then I went and took a look and was like, yes, I like this one better, and that was the method to my madness. So without further ado, which one? I'm just going to take a look at what I'm going to pull up. Okay. That is where we're starting. So we're going to start with number 10 here. Where are we going? I got to go find the alphabetical order. I can't read it because they're so small. But I will get there. Okay. I think we got it. So coming in at number 10, good old Pedro. Pedro or Smurf Pedro or Pedro Smurf. I think I wrote it backwards or whatever, but I do remember you from back in the day, and you are a regular on Discord. Coming in at number 10 with this overhaul dwarf. He also had another submission. It finished 11th. So you were close, bud, but both of your options were great. But we're going to go to this one over here, and this is an example of tokens. And we're going to kind of go into this. So first things first, I want to show you overhaul. Level 5 dwarf cleric warlord artificer. React after an opposing character kills a non-token dwarf in your army. Put a number of charges on overhaul equal to the killed dwarf's level. Limited order, remove up to 10 charges. Put an unrelenting gargoyle dwarf character token in an adjacent rank with the amount of charges removed. So the stats on this look all good and all that. So let's show you. I think this is going to be a little too big, but let's see. Yeah. All right. Just imagine there's a black border here too. But this is the Unrelenting Gargoyle. It comes in. Its stats are based on the token. Attack, AC, power attack equal to the number of charges on it. Bonus to level and skill equal to half the charges rounded up. And bonus to hit points equal to the fifth of charges rounded down. So it is a lot for a token, but it all is pretty intuitive. And you can also remove a charge to do a melee strike, and then obviously your stats will change. So get out of here, Ollie. You're about to get DQ'd for that comment. But there's a very entitled stance that you have there. But we're not talking about Ollie yet. We're talking yet. Watch out now. Ollie, your card might be in this top 10. But we're talking about Pedro here. Stop trying to steal the spotlight from him. So this is the card itself. So let me show the grades that we got. Oh, look at that production value, and they're all ready to go. So playability 8, balance 8. I think this is this can be a very good warlord. I thought it was very balanced too for the beginning of 5e, like a cleric warlord that very simple, straightforward. I'm creating tokens. Oh, I forgot to mention the most important part. In his submission, he wrote a great joke, which was, I always wish Cardinal Cray had an ability on it, so I thought I would do something that Cardinal Cray would do on a dwarf instead, which absolutely was awesome. So I appreciate that reference. There you go, Wes. That one I know you will appreciate too, so that's for you. Don't feel attacked there either. But that was great. So playability and balance are 8. Uniqueness 8. Took a little bit off of uniqueness. I did see a lot of people doing dwarf artificers. I did see, obviously, with the token generation, but the way you did it was also really good. So I didn't want to completely dock uniqueness. Same thing with creativity. I think this art is awesome. I think this looks like AI art, kind of like 5e. So I did really like that. And so that's why like cosmetics are 9. Like I think this is perfect. I don't see any spelling mistakes. I don't see any formatting issues. I think it's good to go. Obviously, with the card creator, like Unrelenting Dwarf Gargoyle, like Dwarf Gargoyle is going to be bold just because it's programmed that. That's not your fault. That's literally how the thing goes. But you did write the amount of changes removed. I don't think that's charges. So there is that. And charge would be bold. You know, you don't have it capitalized here. You do have it capitalized here. So, like, things like little, like, and people like, really, back? You get that nitpicky? That's what I do for a living, bro. Yes, that is true. But this is, that is kind of what I looked at. But I thought this was, I thought this could really be, like, 5e. I thought this was a really good job that you did. So, you slotted in at number 10. Let's now, I'm gonna hide this a little bit while I start looking. But kudos to you. Going to number 9. Number 9 on the countdown. Casey here. We're going to go with Citra, Finder of Ways from good old Fintago. There's no extra cards here. It's just this. But let's take a look at this. So it is a level 4 wizard and a cleric. Summoner Cantor, magic resistance 5, mercenary. 2 attack, 12 AC, 8 skill, 2 HP. When a stunned character in your army falls forward, they suffer 1 wound. That's kind of like might get a little inspiration from good old the good old giant mercenary guy, good old Fasalt over there. when a so let's say, well, sorry, I read that one. Your character may enter play as if they are one level higher or lower. So, with the flavor text, she leaves only allies in her wake. I love the artwork, which I thought was awesome. I like the idea of the ability that, you have the option of going lower or higher. Like we see that with the dev in this one, so I thought that fit pretty well. Mainly, I think the art is kind of carrying, and also honestly, like with let me actually. Why don't I just show you the scores? Cosmetics and creativity, I thought were pretty cool. I like the idea of, well, I'm gonna make my, the ability of the artwork is a commissioned photo of my wife. Oh, there we go. The better gore. No wonder I liked it so much. Got him. But no, it is an awesome piece. The actual artwork is absolutely gorgeous. But where was I going with this? What this reminded me of is it's a better Cassandra the Arcane, the mercenary wizard cleric that is awesome artwork, but absolute garbage. At least this Warlord is actually playable. I do think it is underpowered, so balance I gave it a 7. I think you could have went a little higher on the stats here. A 3rd HP at least, and maybe some AC too. I know you gave it 2 subclasses and feats, so maybe you think, all right, I need to kind of curve it back. But with this Warlord, can't really go to rank 2. Gonna sit in the back in rank 3. Like, I just felt like you could have given it a little bit more. That's what it is, especially because one of your abilities is already a penalty, where your stun characters, they fall forward, they suffer a wound, so you're already playing in Epic Edition rules. And I know your ability kind of helps with that, but it's there to kind of really hurt because it doesn't affect the opponent. It's in your army, so that's also what kind of made it there. I thought you were like this had a little too many handcuffs, and think you could have let it fly a little bit, and she would have been stronger. But either way, I do think this is cool. So you finished in number 8. All right, let me hide some stuff. And then, no, you came in at number 9. Number 8 is what we're moving to. Oh, I gotta look this up. What was the name of this Warlord? Oh, that was that one. More friggin' tokens. Why did I even appease you guys in your tokens? Well, because I think this is also another example of where tokens can work. And since he thinks I've been dunking on him all stream. Oh, nope. We don't want to show that yet. We want to show this. Good old King Steam from Wesley over here. I have this as my number 8 slot. It is a level 5 Dwarven Fighter. Water construct. It has 1 printed strike at +7. 13 AC, 7 skill, 1 HP. Starts the game with 4 parts tokens equipped. After King Steam suffers 1 or more wounds, discard and attach parts. Reduce the wounds to 0. So it's not an ability, can't be canceled, it just happens. So it's the idea of a big giant dwarven construct that you have to wear down in order to just break it. It's just the amount of times you hit it is what kills it. So we got to show what a parts token is. Like this one over here. I think this. Yeah, I like that he's water and not a warlord. Yes, it's true. He's a steam engine, which is pretty cool. Very like Final Fantasy VI, in my opinion, or Final Fantasy III, depending on your perspective. But he doesn't have the Warlord trait? Oh, I didn't even notice that. I should have docked some points. That's true. I thought the water was intentional. I think he definitely needs the Warlord trait. This is just a character that's not in. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. Good thing I didn't pick up the win. That'd be embarrassing. Anyway, but the parts gives +1 AC. It's a level 5 class items, constructs only. Order, spend parts, perform a melee strike, or range, or perform a melee strike or a +3 range strike. So it's the way to get that dwarf some extra strikes there, extra HP and all that. But I just thought that it was really cool in terms of just the ability there. Playability and balance, I do think it's fine. I could see something like this, like a construct warlord, being something that exists. I thought this was unique. The way that we kind of use the tokens here, it is something new. So gave a little bit more creativeness. The cosmetics were good. We probably should have docked you a point for not having the Warlord trait. And the vac factor was 8. I do like the idea of a dwarf steam engine that's just coming here to wreck house. So I thought this was a really cool one. So we got 7. Sorry, we got 8. So now we're going to go to 7. Let me just hide some things until I can pull up the right one. Which one was this? Like, I wrote down the person's name. I didn't write what the actual Warlord's name was, so I don't know which one to pull up. But, okay, cool. I do know this one. I think someone in chat's going to know this one, too. So, check out. Pow. Good old Recycle. Good old Bobby Zabrowski coming in at number 7, right above West. So, I know that's at least a consolation prize. Another dwarf token over here. But what I like about this is Recycle. Level 5 Dwarven Cleric. He put the Warlord trait on there. It is a Druid. It has like the little Union flavor. Look at that. He's a Union guy. How about that? Just for no other reason. Your gargoyles gain an attack bonus equal to the number of items banished. And limited order banish an item in your discard pile. Put a trash gargoyle into play in your front rank. So just a... Overall stats, 3-1 attack, 16 AC, 3 skill, 8. This is for a standard level 5 cleric. I do like that. And then when you get to the trash gargoyle, look at this. I like the flavor of recycle and making trash. It's very funny. But trash gargoyle, great stats. It's like a super Brian Fiend that comes in. Death react, banish a card in any discard pile. So he also comes in with some built-in meta. So I just like this as a very playable Warlord, one that I would absolutely run. He spelled Graham wrong. Damn. The chat's getting a little savage over here. But yep. So you have to banish an item in your discard pile. So as a cleric, you're forced to run items. So think like, like it depends on what would happen in 5e. Obviously, like we're not really considering Ancients too much for this, but it would be cool in Ancients. But like you would have to have a lot of items in there, and especially early on in 5e, you're going to have to find that nice balance of items that would be usable for him and actions. But I'm sure, if this was going to be printed, you would assume you designed the set around that. But all right, here we go. Let's. You're looking for. You're looking for that creativity 10. All right, let's see. What did I give you? No, creativity. You got a 9. Sorry, but. Playability is 8. Balance was 9. Again, I think this is a very balanced Warlord. I really like it. I thought it was awesome. Then uniqueness is 8. Creativity 9. Cosmetics 7. Come on, man. You can't capitalize ATK for me. Like, I saw that. I'm like, come on. But probably a little harsh with the 7 there. Probably should be an 8. But I was like, come on, man. You know better. How many Dwarf Warlords have you seen with the words ATK on there? You don't get -3 points for that, no. The artwork's a little blurry, too. That was also what it was. But, probably should be an 8. I think an 8 is more fair. I can bump you up a point, but I'm still going to put you at 7. I would say that. But Trash Gargoyle, too, let me see. Trying to remember. No, I think he was just fine. I honestly think it was that. I think it was just me being harsher on you. Because it's like you know better. I know you know better, Bobby. But this was a really cool one. I just like the dwarf druid because dwarves don't. Well, I mean, let's look at this Warlord. It's a dwarf that has 2 strikes in a subclass. That's unheard of. But let's get rid of that. There's a lot of dwarves I'm about to show. Damn. All right, but I think this ain't the last dwarf either. But we're gonna go to the next one. So just so I know, early on I kind of dunked a little bit on Jens's submission. So you might think that I am an anti-German Warlord player. That is not true, because I have my boy Florian coming in with the number 6 option, Unity, a Dwarven Wizard. Let's read up this one. Your wizards do not suffer loyalty penalty. So it's kind of like a dwarf wizard guildmaster. Limited order, spend any number of wizards and target X characters within 4 ranks. X equals the number of different factions spent. The targets must succeed with a magic save DC 8 plus the sum of the spent wizard's level or suffer a wound. In this, he wrote that he really wanted to kind of do like a lot of the wizards, like there's no like wizard summoning like ritual circle to kind of like help each other power up the magic, and that's what he wanted to go with. I also thought, all right, cool, like the artwork was awesome. I really like that. I like the simplicity of this. Oh, Gracchus with the gifted sub. Thank you, buddy. But like I looked at this, and this is something like I would play. It's like, oh, it's a warlord, or I can go first action, attack the second rank with the spend order. He had to revise this one because he forgot to put limited, and it was just an order, and I was like, oh my god, every wizard is just spend and go. Like that's gonna be crazy. And but then he very soon after was like, wait a minute, I forgot that. He was also one of the other folks who forgot to give his warlord classes. His paladin bard, which was based off of his Baldur's Gate 3 character, did not have any classes, but was a paladin and a bard. But that one was cool. But I like this one a lot better. I like the art. Let's give the scores. There we go. Playability and balance. Once you add a limited order, I do like that. I do think it's very playable. I like the idea of the Wizard Guild Master, and I saw what you were going for there for that. So I did give the creativity a 9, especially because this kind of wizard stuff. I mean, obviously it's like Anton. Cosmetics is an 8 and isn't a warlord. Oh my god, he's not a warlord too. Damn! Why do you people keep forgetting the warlord trait? All right, well, it's a good thing he didn't win then, Bobby. See, look at that. Exactly, he did capitalize attack. Like, come on. Attack's not even on here. Get out of here. Rigged. All right, here, look at this. This is based off of my opinion. Of course it's rigged. It's rigged to my opinion. Did I do anything? How dare you, Mitch? You know how many hours I spent reading all of you submissions? Please. when you're into hour 2 of looking at warlords from people, and especially like reading all the submissions of everyone like pitching their case, like it's a lot. But we did miss the warlord trait. Come on, Florian. Come on. But this is a cool design, so I did like it. Cosmetics will be a 7 just for a factor. It still comes in at number 6, specifically above Forge Cake, just for the fact that he complained. Some warlords, some water. I do like water. Should have spent an extra one. Get out of here, Midge. You didn't even submit anything. How dare you? All right, let's get rid of this. Let's get to some more complaining here, right? I mean, what's the point of doing this without me knowing that I was gonna get a lot of complaints? That's what I'm here for, right? Which one is the next one? Oh, it's this one. Okay, coming in at number 5. Good old Graham and his... Oop, those are the cards. I keep clicking the wrong button. There we go. Argalath Bone Hunter coming in at number 5. Level 5 Elf Warlord Necromancer. I may have an affinity for elven necromancers. But yours only has 3 HP. It doesn't have 4 HP. Can you look at that? Anyway, let's take a look at this. Level 5. 11 skill, 3 HP, 14 AC, 2 strikes at +1/+1. Static text over here. It does have the warlord trait. We're good with that, Bobby, right? After the draw phase, discard your hand and the top card of your deck. Then add up to 4 cards of your choice from your discard pile in your hand. This effect cannot be canceled or prevented. And then opposing warlords gain limited order, banish up to 2 cards in Argalath's owner's discard pile. So Graham in his submission talked about how he likes the idea of the sub game here, you essentially get to have a lot more consistency in your hand, and as a necromancer have some things in your discard pile, but like your opponent can remove that. But also now you actually have to play the game where your opponent got to see every single card in your hand. And in 5e, we saw the power of that, like with the Free Kingdom Warlord from the preview decks, Marehaven, right? Or something like that. Yeah, I think it was Marehaven. What number is this? This is number 5, Graham. This is number 5. So I do like that. I do think the ability itself is like the giving the opponent the ability to banish cards takes away from the thing that I would have liked the most about this, which is, you know, okay, cool, you got one less card in your hand, but you also put cards in your discard pile, which is going to fuel a lot of your necromancer traits. So like like it's almost kind of like, all right, cool. Like again, Ancients was not a consideration for this, but let's say if there is necromancer's obviously going to have some interaction with bringing cards back from discard pile. If you do Dark Flame Bolts, all right, well, I just saw you put your level 1 in there. Like, just order Devour that. And, like, so, like, I think that is a little harsh. Maybe if it was just one card, that might have been probably all that was needed. But let's take a look here. Playability 8, I thought it was good. Balance, again, I think your order underpowers it, so I gave you a 7. I did like the uniqueness of this. And like the idea of thinking with your design to have like a whole mind game with the opponent. I do like that because when you do it right, it's great. And when you do it wrong, you get Regin. So this is much better. So I do like that aspect. Thought it was very creative. Cosmetics, again, looks good. You got the Warlord trait, so you get a 9. And there's no misspellings, even with flavor text. But I just thought it was really cool. So, but I do have you in the 5th slot. Wow, look at this. Wow, Bobby's getting real agitated. He's not happy that, you know, Recycle was number 7. See, and that was the thing. Like, everybody, multiple people thought I was rigging this for Jersey. It's like, come on. I already know Jersey's good enough to have multiples of these decks already because of performances at Gen Con. So, we're doing all right there. Don't worry about that. Maybe not Sanji. Sanji might deserve one. But, I don't know. We only got 4, so let's lift, Sanji. Go see if you're in there. But we're going to get to the top 4 now. And the top 4 is where the 50-pointers kind of start. And this is the point in the show where it's a little bit of story time here. So, obviously, I'm giving to the top 3.
Rigged.
Right? So, and we're at 4 here. Taking a look at my results of just, you know, how after I've kind of graded everything. And I was like, all right, there's 4 with 50 points. That means one of them I have to kind of knock out. And then I'm taking a look at the submissions. And I look at the name of one of the submissions. And I'm like, Jack Grimm. Who the hell is Jack Grimm? JackGrimm43@gmail.com from the submission. Oh, I kind of play, but I'm not really active on social media. You know, I'm just really excited. I love the game. So they did a Warlord that I'm going to show, and that is at the number 4 slot. And then they also did, I'm going to do something with Jonah the Burglar because, oh, it's a meme and everyone thought it was fun. That Jonah the Burglar one was trash. The other one was good. So I was sitting there like, I really like this. And it'd be kind of cool that I'm giving it to somebody who's kind of new to the community, but wait a minute. Jack Grimm, like Grimjack, like the old mercenary character in Warlord, that's what you're named after? I know 2 people who like to make jokes about Grimjack, and they happen to be the owner of Kingswood Games. So I immediately messaged Woodrow and Josh, and I'm like, be honest. Did you try and submit your own Warlords into this contest just for fun? Because you might cost somebody a deck right now. And I think that's all they were looking for, is to see that they got it. Like, Woodrow was like, I didn't do it, but it sounds like Josh. He admitted he does like a good Grimjack reference, but it wasn't him. And then Josh at first sent me only like shifty eye emojis, so he was eventually just invoking his 4th Amendment right, and then came clean on it when it came to like, hey, you shouldn't keep a deck from an otherwise deserving entry. And he admitted yes. So Josh King, one of the designers of the 5e Warlord decks, is coming in at number 4 and submitted that. And that felt dirty. I would not give this person the deck. If it wasn't Josh, if it was one of you who designed this, maybe. Yes, I think I would have. But but I promised Josh I would show his Warlord for this, just so I could go story time. But also, because I do think this was good. It was One of the things about this is it's sleek and it's clean and it's got a good pun name. And it's just the idea of a top hat paladin walking around kicking ass is something that I really enjoyed. I was like, all right, cool. This is elegant. This is simple. This is base set. This is 5e because there's also aspects of, the ability journeying and giving a strike advantage. So those are the kind of things I liked about it. But sorry, Josh. Once we find out you're kind of disqualified. So you're getting the number 4 slot just out of respect. But I will talk about this submission. Playability, I thought it was 8. Balance, I thought it was perfectly balanced. Give it a 9. I don't think anything really got a 10 in balance because it was kind of harsh. 7 with uniqueness. Again, I docked it a little bit here because I did think it was like, this is just like the 5 initiative. While it's cool, it's like, that's Deverinian. We've seen paladins in Deverenia have that ability. So it's not really that unique. And it's for another Free Kingdom Paladin Warlord. Oh, yeah, we never got those with 4 HP. Yeah, we never seen that. But I think it was the PUD that really got me. Cosmetics are, again, perfect. So it was really cool. Sir Topham Hat. That reminds me, too. I do want to show one aspect, because the initiative one reminded me of good old Gracchus, who we haven't mentioned here. His submissions did not make it, but we're in true Build a Warlord fashion, we're going to take a Josh idea and then turn it into a Gracchus in the spotlight. So Gracchus wanted to do some Warlords where it was really making it matter for initiative. The old, like, oh, if you win initiative, do this. If you lose initiative, do that. Like, bringing that back from the devs. So he did do 2 Warlords. I thought he did the same name for 2 ones, as you can see. But one he built as a fighter with the tactics trait for some reason that makes no absolute sense, because there's no reason for a Warlord to have the tactics trait. The Warlords do tactics. They are not tactics themselves. But this one was better. So I kind of really like this one. I think you were 1 point short, Gracchus. I don't remember what it was, but I'm going to show you because we're talking about Josh right now. So why the hell not? But yeah, this was another good one I liked. I was like, all right, if you win initiative, ready one of your characters or perform a melee strike, which is very good. And then if you lose initiative, you can spend a lower level non-warlord, and they do not ready in the next phase. I really like that part because it kind of locks them out. But that you can apply your bonuses to initiative as penalties instead, like that was unique too. So I'm gonna give Gracchus a honorable mention. And now we can get rid of Josh's little Sir Topham Hat. Actually, hold on. Let me go back 1 sec before we get to the top 3. Where are we going? Where was Sir Topham? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. So, like, we got this one for Josh. And then this was Florian's. I was like, this looks like the guy just lost his hat. It was very close. The AI Warlord popped out the same thing for a different Free Kingdom Paladin. Hat? No hat. Same beard, right? He's got the same flowing hair. Is that the same armor too? No, it's slightly different armor. He changed it up a little bit. And this guy don't play a horn. This guy's all business with the hat. It might be a curved handgun. I don't know. I thought it was a horn because he's a bard. It looks like a horn. It's a very funky horn. I don't know where he puts his mouth. Oh, there it is. But yeah. Okay, I'm done showing other people Warlords for no apparent reason here. So now we're gonna get to the top 3, and again, the top 3, you will be awarded decks. So now we're at the top 3. This is where I'm gonna get like all the hate and all the jealousy is gonna seep in. Because right now, before we even found out who the winner is, you can already see chat's full of savages. But sorry, this is what happens when you give me power, and it's just I'm gonna do a contest with my opinion on what I like. So we're gonna go with. What is the number 3? Where'd it go? Gotta remember the Warlord's name. Aha, that's what it was. Okay. So I will find that card. And that card will be on the screen once I figure out where L comes in the alphabet. Okay, cool. There we go. I see it. We got there. So number 3 is a submission from Gahid. Gahid spelled with a 1. So we got an elf, necromancer, and a seer. Missing classes. So at first that was really bad. The guy he'd messaged me was like, hey, it's supposed to have classes. I messed up. Didn't revise the artwork, which, I kind of want to dock you a little bit for that. But you did message me. So that kind of covers that you're admitting faults. Other people did not admit faults. So there we go. You do have the Warlord trait too, so Bobby's gonna be okay with this. But Lacey Titanis, the funny thing too is like with your submissions, they have like a black tint on them too, so they all stood out. So that might have something to do with me, just like in this. But anyway, let's go to that. So obviously supposed to be an elf cleric. Limited order. Discard a card. Look at the top 5 cards of any deck. Discard 1 and return the remaining to the top of the deck in the same order. Limited order. Perform a scribe check, DC 24. If successful, attach a spell from any discard pile. Scribe spells are removed from the game after played. The future is past. So this kind of combines again, it's like Tor and Yesgar, it's elf necromancers. I saw this one and I kind of looked at it closely compared to Graham's too, like the ability of like putting stuff in the discard. And I thought this ability was a lot better. That I liked it. So you're discarding your own card as a necromancer. You have an ability that feeds cards into your discard pile. Now you have the toolbox versatility of you can look at the opponent's cards or you can look at your own if there's like you want to put a spell that you have in your deck into the discard pile, or you have a character that you want in there that you're going to recur later on. So like that whole aspect and that dynamic of this ability tied in with the class, I really liked. And then it's like, all right, well, it's also going to have spells, and we're already going to be recurring characters. Recurring spells on top of that is kind of like a natural progression as well. So obviously, you ripped off a little Ring of the Savant there, but it was pretty good. And most importantly, like the stats, again, I think the stats are where they need to be. You have 2 powerful abilities, you have 2 subclasses, and a feat. So it was already a lot, but like I thought the abilities, like also curving the stats there was a good way. Maybe you could probably even go a little lower on the skill, but 12 AC, 3 HP. Like this thing is super vulnerable if it ever if it ever sits in the second rank, it's dead, most likely. The scribe spell removal is tied to the order. Should it be a separate static? No, I think so. Yeah. So all it is just hitting the enter button there and we're good to go. But let's take a look at Gahid's things. So with cosmetics, got a 7. Part of that is for what you said, Resta, and part of that is also what Reclesa said because she's classless. The 7 was because you forgot the classes. Everything else looks perfect on this card, but you forgot the classes, even if you messaged me, so you don't have even worse than a 7. But also, yeah, that limited order, like Resto said, if you just hit enter on that, like scribe spells are removed from the game after played, like as a kind of separate static text, it works better because having that time to that order just doesn't really make sense for the templating. And that was really where this struggled. Otherwise, the playability, like I would absolutely play this Wool. This Wool is great. Balance, I thought it was balanced. Could be proven wrong in the future when a lot of people are just running this card. But it is the kind of game I like. So I do like it. Also doesn't say her scribe spells, so it impacts enemy scribe spells too. Yeah, and again, like the order works on the enemy deck too. So I do like that. Yeah, it is strong, but I still like it being balanced. It's good against other wizards. So if she comes up against like a fighter or a rogue, if she comes up against a rogue, she's probably dead. I think a rogue might truck her. Creativity was an 8, uniqueness 8. Those are kind of standard that I saw a lot of. If you put a lot of thought into it, probably could even went a little bit more on the uniqueness. But again, you did kind of take from existing cards, which is something I kind of talked about. But like the ones you took, like there was at least purpose to it, so that's why I liked it a lot more. And then the vac factor again, like you can tell, like I kind of looked at this one and I started kind of building the deck in. So that's why this one stood out to me. And it's an elf necromancer and a seer. I've played elven seers before. We've seen them on there. So yeah, I put Gahid at number 3. So you will get whichever deck is left over. And that's how that's going to go. So that's number 3. So let's see. Already the nitpicking and the complaining in chat? No, not too much. Okay. Alrighty, let's get rid of that. Ooh, that one's not gone. So, okay. Oh, we're going to go away. And now I love this part because, and I knew I was going to do it in reverse order because I knew there would be people being like, oh no, like, wait, am I going to be number 1? Am I going to be in here? Or like, am I not in there? Oh wait, did I not submit it? And like, there's still that panic setting in. So if you are panicking, I am intentionally doing it because I know I saw you make the comment like, oh, I hope mine's in here. Yes, Xenomorph, yours is in here. You are coming in at number 2. We're gonna have to do a lot with this one though. So, God, get away from the points. I keep clicking the wrong button. There we go. Number 2, the Rotten Stone. We got a dwarf here. So, before we get to the card, I will say, one of the, again, I kind of even joked with some of my little local chat over here, like the Warlord group that I am with the Jersers, in terms of just some of the questions that came in here. Because I was like saying, like, I'm getting some weird questions here, but I messaged the group and I'm like, I didn't get a weird question. I got the best question possible from somebody, and it was from Xenomorph, and it was like, hey, if I wrote a story, how long would be too long? And I was like, he cares about me not reading a 20-page novel. I was like, he was willing to do it. He would have wrote a 20-page novel if I was like, give me a book, bro. But he was like, how much do you want to read? And I was like, give me like a page, and that would do. So like, I laughed so much at that question, and I love that question because it's like, okay, he's thinking like that, like by giving you work, by giving you a story. But you are kind of giving me work, but I'm gonna like this work because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read that story right now. So, oh man, this is like an author at seeing somebody else read their book, and I'm sure it's just gonna cringe. But for the Rotten Stone, he gave us some lore, so I'm gonna read it all for you right now. So let me put on my I'm gonna give my, let's sing. I'm not gonna sing. I'm gonna read this one. So here we go, folks. I can't see chat, so that way you won't distract me while I read. The dwarven mother looked at her son, who listened intently. Who listened intently, the covers up to his eyes. Long ago, there was a dwarf named Merit, a good and honorable dwarf who loved court and king. He dreamed of the day he could bring honor to his people, to carry his banner with pride, and when that day arrived, he accepted without hesitation. Merit was given a small legion and tasked with mapping out the black tunnels far below. Twisting through the long and winding tunnels, Merit and his men were ambushed by an ancient horror from long ago. Abyssals, she said, clawing the air. I gotta claw the air too, like the dwarven mother. The child's eyes widened. Merit was resolute, planning a defense to hold these monsters back. But when he turned to his men, he found himself alone. She looked hard at her son. They did not keep their word. Not to him, not to their king, not to Kor. She paused for a moment, then in only a whisper, some say he's still down there in the black tunnels beyond where any living dwarf has ever tread. They say he cannot rest. He cannot find peace, for the betrayal he suffered poisoned his soul. Nothing of him remains but a rotten stone, guided by the whispers of those that died unjustly, searching for any dwarf who breaks their oath, to drag them down into the black tunnels he wanders. Standing, she kissed the head of her trembling son and walked to the door. Just before closing it, she turned back. Keep your word, son, else the rotten stone may come for you. And I absolutely love that. He literally made the dwarven boogeyman. That is so cool. So I absolutely love that, dude. Perfect length. I like that. So hopefully my performance was okay. What is this? Why are you all yelling at me? I don't know. Well, it's just Midge. No one gives a shit what you have to say, Midge. Don't worry. I'll submit your deck later today. Gen Con decks, by the way, online worlds are done, so don't worry, Midge. I'll get your deck into. But let's talk about the Rotten Stone. So now let's actually look at the card. Level 5, Dwarf Warlord Undead Paladin Power Attack, the Revenant. The Rotten Stone gains +1 attack and AC. Look at that, he capitalized attack, Bobby. For every undead character you control. React twice per turn after Rotten Stone kills a non-warlord character. Return the character into your first rank with the undead trait under your control. So, thing I saw about this card is, again, I love the story. I in flavor. Like, that is what I loved about this card. I think the actual card itself might be a little too much for 5e. There's a lot on this card, and it's very Arcos Loth, which, again, back factor, I would have liked that. But just stealing characters and everything like that, and having all of these other things to it, might be a little more. We can probably curve it down. Like, I don't think it needs power attack. Like, the power attack doesn't really do anything with the other abilities, so you can probably lose that just to kind of cut down on the card. But having this little undead subtype, like, again, I can see this as a 5e warlord down the line. But in terms of, just like maybe not in the base set, but like down the line, this will be like when there's a lot more support, and like we've already explored the main themes of dwarves, and now look, hey, look, there's this one cool story that we want to tell. And that's what you can kind of see in these 5e demo decks. Like, they all come with like a small little card that kind of tell a story about it. Like, and they all kind of feel like very fantasy, kind of like what we just read right here. So that's what I really liked about this submission. Let me pop it up. Playability is 8, balance is 7. I think he might be a little too, good. The uniqueness, I did dock it a little bit there. I just thought, like, it kind of goes with the undead, and I guess it is kind of unique, but it's just like, an undead paladin that steals you. I was like, this is just Arcos Loth. So like that's kind of like where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna lose some points here, mainly because I also know I was gonna load the shit out of creativity, cosmetics, and back factor. Absolutely perfect score for cosmetics. Creativity 9, back factor 9. So I don't think anything got a back factor 10. So I think that was just kind of, was there any back factor 10? No. There was back factor 0, which was just Wes. And then Scape G's back factor was 1. I gave him a point. But yeah, no one got it. So yeah, no one got a 10 back factor. But I did very much appreciate this just because of the story. Like, again, when I first think, like, all right, cool, you're going to write a Warlord story. It's like, all right, I'm going to read your short story, and it's going to be trash. And then I'm going to try and think about how am I going to talk about that submission, about how this guy thought he can write a story and he didn't. But you actually wrote a good story. So I was like, okay, I like this. It's very well written. So, like, that I very much loved. And tying it in with the card. Like, you put in the effort, and I'm going to reward the effort. I think if anyone in chat thinks that this one wasn't worthy, I would fight you. You can fight me on the on 1 and 3 all you want, but like I think this one is solid. But we're going number 2 here, because I'm curious how people are going to react to my number 1. But we'll get to that. But congrats, Morph. I'll let you know which one the opponent, which one the number 1 doesn't pick, and then you'll get to pick the one after that. So I'll be messaging you and Gahid as well after that, as well as our number 1 winner. So we're gonna get to it, folks. This is the moment. Any guesses in chat? Who's number 1? If you've been paying attention, you might know. I find it interesting you use Ragdoll for range strikes. Yeah, not you, Resto. That is true, but you did do good. It's not the teeth guy. Get out of here. Back factor 0. I wonder how you would have did with a decent back factor. No. Okay, yeah. Even if you had a 10 back factor, you don't make the cut. It's not Midge's Warlord. Midge didn't even do anything. I mean, technically it's kind of a tie, but it's just like, it's like, all right, cool. These 3 are winners is basically what it came down to. But, all right, let me put the Rotten Stone. Say goodbye, Remember, for Core and King, folks, don't be a fucking dwarven coward. Otherwise, the Rotten Stone's coming after you. Let's get rid of that. All right, so we're going to go to the number 1 submission once I'm able to find it. Okay. And I don't know. Like, the number 1 submission was a warlord that I looked at this and I'm like, I would absolutely play this. And you know, you can kind of like I said that same thing about a number 3 one too. But I also really like this. It also was, I think, one of the only control warlords, I think, and I really liked that. Everybody else, what I saw, a lot of range strikes, a lot of like, you know, offensive abilities, or super defensive in terms of, you know, King's Theme, which like how West had, but you know, turning defense into an offense was still there. Like what this next, what the winner came up with is there's hardly any offense to it. It's a lot of control aspect, but it's also really cool. So it is from Oliver Eagle, and it is Inquisitor Corlin. Once I'm able to click this button, we'll get it up there. There we go. Intelligencer Corlin. Excuse me. He's not an Inquisitor. A level 5 mercenary bard. Stealth +3. Traitor. There you go. There's the traitor trait. Now we're liking it. Corlin plays with the bottom card of his deck revealed. So you're revealing the bottom card. Not the top card, the bottom one. Limited order. Draw the bottom card of your deck if it has the same name as a card in your discard pile. Limited react. After a spent character pays the cost of an action card, discard a card. Cancel the action. This effect may only target a warlord if the name of the card discarded matches the bottom card of your deck. 9 skill, 3 HP, level 5, 6'1", 15 AC. I read this and I'm like, holy, this was one of the early ones too, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I really loved the ability. He wrote in just his just like the pitch section on comments, like he really wanted to do kind of like that, like who is the rival of Marehaven, the freak that we see in number 5. I think he called her Fairhaven, ironically saying that she was fair. But with this one, it's a bard, which I like. You know, I have like that. +3 stealth. He has the ability to cancel stuff, but it has some kind of handcuff. Like you can't just cancel a warlord's ability unless you have, you know, the card you're discarding is already in the discard. Like playing with the bottom card reveal is really cool. And like this is, you know, like it's a trickster. Like I really like this, and this just kind of really stuck out to me. +5 alliteration points from the flavor text. Yeah, look at all those M's. Let's show the scores of what I gave. It was also a 50-pointer. So playability 9. Again, I think this absolutely would be a competitive warlord. You can play this it will reward a good player. It's not something that every single person can play and then just truck. So I really like that. Balance, I think, again, in the right player's hand, this might be dirty. So I kind of docked them points there. It might be a little too strong. Let's see. Get out of here. What are you all doing? What? Doesn't have the warlord trait. There we go. You mother. Sorry. All right. Well, don't worry. We docked them points in balance and cosmetics. So there you go. It's okay. Uniqueness, again, I gave this a 10. It was the only control warlord. Creativity, like the idea, these are abilities I haven't seen. Drawing from the bottom of your deck, or playing with the bottom card you revealed. How many times have you gone and played somebody they're going to cut, and then they put the top card on the bottom of the deck, and you're all like, what is that one? So, like, I kind of, like, was attached to that. I really like that. But again, I like all these things you guys are complaining about in chat right now. Balance and cosmetics, you know, he got knocked points and he still crushed it. Like, what do you want me to do? I just really like this. It is a warlord. So even, you know what? Even if this wasn't a warlord and you dropped it, it's a 5e design warlord. In fact, you got to put it in there. Well, the traitor is a warlord, so don't worry. But done. Okay, I'm just looking at all yo. You're not complaining. You're simply pointing out, hey, he picked a not a warlord to be the winner. But I also was a little. I didn't want to pick Ollie. because in full honesty, like I know Ollie was at Gen Con, so I know he got decks, and I really wanted to give the decks to people who weren't at Gen Con. But again, like I was like Vac, like you looked at all these, you looked at this one, and you know this one was your favorite. Like you gotta be fair. So like I did not rig it. So I actually had to give Ollie his due because again, I know Ollie has multiples of decks, so I didn't want to give him one, but I think he won. Like of all the Warlords I saw, like it's elegant. It's missing the Warlord trait, sure, but I just like everything about it, man. I would build this deck tomorrow. I really would, and I didn't really get that too much from all these other ones. Like even like Rottenstone, which I saw, like I really would want to play that one. Like I don't think I would build it, but like the flavor was like right there. It's like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like it gotta win. Gahids, like I would play that, and I liked, well, you know, just the tweaking of the existing abilities that it kind of plays to, and the ones that like necromancers don't necessarily have. Like I don't think necromancers have a discard effect. Usually they have to kill their own characters, kind of fuel it. So like I kind of like looked at that, and those were like, okay, that's what stuck out to me while going through it, and that's what I liked. And I used those as kind of the tiebreakers. Again, like I did like the point system just going through. I did admittedly miss Warlord traits, but that's fine. Some of you all missed to capitalize attack. So what do you want me to tell you? You all got dock points on it. I'm getting docked too by like getting yelled at. But that's it. What do you think, chat? How many of you? What do you all think about this one? But I do question your sense of balance, but I suck at this game, so no. If anyone picks the elf deck, I have a button. There is no elf deck, so you are good, because there is a Dev, a Nothrog, and a Merc. Can we request seeing the scores of Warlord that did not make 10? Yes. You want to see your freak? All right, Fantago, you're here. I will read it to you. Let's see. Because I have like a whole spreadsheet. And I thought it was just too much to share it. Fantago, your freak, which was, I can show that one here. Let me pop it up. I can show them, like, for anyone who's here. We can probably do that, and I can kind of give you some honest feedback here. Hopefully that's working on. Yep, there we go. So let me get rid of these points over here, so just so no one's confused. But for Basilka, Crab Acolyte. So it's kind of like a freak Bricta that gains stats for each wound on it, but then for number of HP she has, she gets +0. I gave you 8s across the board, so you were at 48 points. So you were one short of the cut. But I gave you 8s across the board. I do like this one. It might be this one. I think could be like really, really good. Look at that. The T and this K are not capitalized. How dare you? At least you got the Warlord trait. But no, that one was cool too. Let's see what else we got. I'm making sure. I always appreciate people's compliments. There you go. Everyone loves compliments. Who likes everyone else? This Warlord is dope. We need a if you call the arms. I think you see. I think Fantago's is my favorite in the top 10. Which one? The Citra? No, get out of here, needy dungeon. Go fuck yourself. Do you like all the top 10 for sure? Okay, yeah, pretty respectful 8. Yeah, I did like that. Okay, Gahi wants to see his Sutek. Oh, yes, that's right. I do like that a number of you gave me Suteks. So let me find. Here we go. Good old Commander Varric. There you go. Look at all those. That was the thing I saw this. It's like, it's a Warlord Barbarian Sutek Power Attack and reposts. Here's everything. For this one, generally speaking, I think I looked at this and I'm like, it's a little too close to Zadok. So that's what it was. I think like the short version that held it back from me putting it higher. But I gave you an 8 in playability, 8 in balance, 7 in uniqueness. I think the 7 was for that reason I just said. 8 in creativity, 8 in cosmetics, and a 9 in vac factor. Because then I wrote, knew I loved Sutek. So that is yours over there. I did like that one. That one was pretty good, but that one fell 48. So in the same one. Anyone else have any questions on their other ones? Let's see. Woodrow is not confirmed. Woodrow bot is confirmed. Oh, okay, yeah, no. Show my guy some. Okay, yeah. Let me talk about that one, Graham. Because I did not like that one. I thought it was fucking broken. But I do like the artwork that you did. Here we go. The Sumerian of Twilight. This is Graham's other entry. It's a Warlord Illusionist. It's a good freak. I like the art is really fucking awesome. I really like that. Your Deveranian wizards gain stealth with a bonus equal to their level. Your Deveranian wizards gain spell react. After this character casts a spell, move this character in the front rank of any player's formation. So first action, cast like Jump or cast like Blood Price, and you spend order, and you're a level 5 character in an opposing front rank that can now throw fiery bolts or whatever. Like, I'm just obviously again not talking about with ancients, but throw order spells from wizards right from your front rank at your warlord after the first action. Like, I thought that was too much. Look at, there we go, Sanjington. I like it. He modded the Needy Dungeon promo, got rid of that Woodrow bot. There we go. So yeah, I looked at that and it's like, wizards, when they get that close, they're gonna explode your head. So they need to be vulnerable. And this guy is a 14 plus stealth 5 times in the opposing rank just for casting a spell. Like, I just thought that was, you know, a bit much. That's what was going with yours there. And I get what you're saying. Like, you want kind of like an offensive wizard that goes up real close and kind of starts punching people. But I think this way of doing it was just ooh. I was like, this is dirty. This is fast. A little too fast. But yeah. So that was what I had for that one. Last call for anyone who wants to see. Maybe I can find some other ones I want to show. But let me talk about the grades I gave you, Graham, for that one. Where was that? I didn't talk about the grades. Where is Graham? Gave you 8 in playability, 7 in balance, 8. Oh, what are those? In uniqueness and creativity, 9 in cosmetics. I really liked it. And the vac factor 7 because I thought it was broken. What are some other cool ones? I'm like looking at my sheet right now. I can show Shane's over here. Good old Cathal. Where's Irolas? He made Irolas into a warlord. Irolas the Undying. It's an elf undead assassin scout. I wrote, and I don't think you need both assassin scout. You can go with one and you're totally fine. Irolas the Undying may target characters within one rank with range strikes and react after it suffers a wound. Preform a +5 range strike. Not perform, preform. I like this one. I thought this one was pretty cool, but I think he just needed to lose a subclass. I gave it a 9 in playability. Like, yeah, I'd play this, and I think it is pretty balanced. But you know, I think I'm reading the wrong. Yeah, 9 in playability. 8. Okay, yeah, and then 7 in creativity because it's just your loss, and then cosmetics. There was somebody who had something with like warlord, like range strikes that could target within one rank, but it was kind of like Phaser, so I kind of passed on that one. This was Lime Pulp's artwork. Just wanted to show this one. This is the one that he was like, yeah, I got the permission from the artist there, so shout out to that. Oh, we wrote down the name on that one. Let me shout out Pink Link Comics. That is the artist who did this one from Lime Pulp submission, so check out that person's art. I'm sure they have some awesome, adorable fantasy cartoons like this. Like, go for it. So that's right. I'll give a shout out to that. This one, I think this was a Lime Pulp one too, right? Let me see. I think that was right. I think this was you. Or am I thinking about something? Yep, Stamina of Lime Pulp. This was Lime Pulp. This one was, obviously, if Falcor was a warlord, I might have ranked it a little higher. This one I ranked yours highest. You were at 47 points for this one. I like the art. I thought that this was awesome. I like that, like, people gave like like the AI actually knows how to do female dwarves, because AEG doesn't really know how to. So I like that. What else we got? Irolas not a warlord. Gravestone Gargoyle. Oh, that was your other submission, Xeno, right? Yeah. Where'd it go? You were right next to it. Yeah. This thing was like a little creepy. For this one, where were my notes? I wrote notes on this one. Where'd it go? I had you somewhere. I am whispering. Where the hell is it? Oh, there we go. Let's see. I wrote balance was a 7 and unique was a 7. See, adds its primary attacks to its range strikes. After targeting a strike, gains 1 attack for each. Oh yeah, I thought this was like a little underpowered. That's what it was. I did write that Orvok would be proud, so I like that. Cosmetics, you got a 9. But like for this one, I think I just like the Rotten Stone a lot better. That's what it was. I was like, all right, cool. When I got this one and I got Rotten Stone, I think I'm going with the Boogeyman. So that's what it was for this one. I was like, all right, I can't put you. I can't have you win two. Iron Tender. Okay, yeah. Oh, yours. For some reason, when you did your artwork, Resto, yours was bigger. So like, I have but you weren't alone. There were a few people who did it like that. You all compensated, and you need bigger images. You're all not nicely formatted. Oh, where'd it go? This one. Okay, where is Iron Tender? There we go. The Iron Tender, which Resto submitted 4 times in 4 different variations, because he kept improvising it and changing his mind. For this one, it's a Wizard Cleric, which I did like. It used the Tinker Feat, which I also was a big fan of. And before an item equipped to a friendly dwarf is destroyed or removed, it remains equipped. If the destruction was a cost, the cost is paid. So I thought this was a really good Artificer. What'd I give it? Where are you, Resto? Iron Tender. You were 8s across the board as well. So 8. 48 points total. So you're, let's see if that's, you were like in 15th place if I'm looking at this, but I think it's all in alphabetical order. Or no, not necessarily. Oh wait, yeah, I think it is in alphabetical order. My man Sanji, you were 12th. You were right below Pedro, like your Zamana one. Let me pop that one up. Just gonna take some time. I just joined, so I don't know. Where were mine commented? All right, so Smurf Pedro, you will have to watch the VOD for the details, but I did show yours a little bit. You had one that was 10th, and so number 10 is where I started you off with, and then your other one was 11. So you did pretty good overall. You didn't get the W, but you did do a solid job both ways around. Where was? God, I gotta fix this thing. Sorry, guys. I know I said I wouldn't go through each individual one, and now here I am going through each individual one. This is what happens when I have too much fun streaming. Can you believe that? Here we go. Here's Sanji's little. I like this one. It felt very much like Touthish, but probably a lot. It's also kind of a little. Might be a chosen Warlord. I kind of like that's like that. What I give you? Let's see. 8 for playability, 9 for balance. I thought this was very balanced. 8 for uniqueness, 8 for creativity. Cosmetics, I gave you a 7, so there was something I didn't like about it. What didn't I like? Spells shouldn't be capitalized. Range strikes should be capitalized. This is a spell. Spell should not be capitalized. I think I was looking at that and I was like, come on. You're someone who I know reads cards all day long looking for crazy cookie combos. But yeah, this one it's a Warlord Shaman. I like that. 4 HP. And that was the one thing too. Like I looked at this as like, do you guys know how many wizards we got with 4 HP in this submission? It's like you all knew about Saga, but like this, I think Sanji, yours used the 4th HP with a purpose, which I liked. I think a lot of people, and that was the thing I saw, a lot of people threw so many HP onto a lot of their warlords. They're like, I want to make sure mine doesn't die. It's like, I mean, you could do that, but you really don't have to. It's okay, guys. Like, just play better, and then you don't have to worry about your warlord just dying. Blurry ass art. I know, right? Can you believe that, motherfucker? Mine is not a warlord either, Roth. Oh, look at you go. See? All this shade you all been throwing, you all forgot your warlord traits. That's too funny. That's too funny. But yeah. I think I'll wrap that up here. So again, the top 3 again. Congratulations to Ali Eagle. Congratulations to Xenomorph. And congratulations to Gahid. You all will win one of these 3 decks. So I'll reach out to you each individually and figure it out. So Ali will get the first pick. Then Xeno will go next. And then whatever's left, Gahid, that's what you get. All you have to do is just wait and find out what deck it is. I might not even tell you until I mail it. Which I got to do a lot of mailing anyway, so who knows how long it'll take. But again, thank you to everybody who participated in this. Again, it was a lot of fun. Again, you can give a lot of comments, give me praise, give me all your hate stuff. Like I've already told multiple people, I expect there to be a lot of like sour grapes and people yelling at me. That's fine, because guess what? Vac, you didn't do a fair scale. Like, I think mine is statistically better. And it's like, yeah, well, I didn't measure on statistics.
Rigged.
It is rigged, because it's my opinion. So that's it. That right, it's rigged. Forgot to bribe you. No, Sanji did offer to bribe me. But no, bribes didn't work. Ollie definitely didn't bribe me. I should look, because Ollie beat me like 3 or 4 times. No, I think I played Ollie 4 times. I was 4-4 for him at Gen Con. And now he's winning my friggin' contest over here. Are you kidding me? That's like a 5th win. Get out of here. If it was rigged, I'd put Ollie last. That motherfucker. But nah. I was just like, let me just see a cool Warlord. I know. Like when ball comes around, like everybody gets so excited. So I was like, all right, whatever your limit, no limit, go for it. Though I probably should have put a limit when it comes to like guts. Oh man, fingers crossed he didn't choose the Sutek. Come on. Some of you all knew I like Sutek. I didn't get the Sutek I liked. Like, if someone did like a really baller Sutek, you probably would have edged you out. But no one. Instead, we get Sutek that equips soft leather armor. Come on, Kevin. Oh fuck. I saw that name. I was like, wait, what's this a pun of? And then I read the rest of the card. I'm like, you motherfucker. I cannot take soft leather armor. Come on. I don't care how many wounds at Gen Con it reduced. It was not worth it. But anyway, thank you to everybody who participated again. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you all had as much fun as I did. I know winning is also fun, but I like, when the people get the creative process going. So hopefully, I know Josh is paying attention because he's following my posts. Take some of these ideas, use them. I'm doing you guys a fucking favor by showing you what the community likes. And so, like, we saw a lot of these warlords here. You see some common themes. People might want broken shit, but don't do it with the broken shit. Like, take that all out. Let's not make guts, please. But other than that, yeah, it was a lot of fun, guys. Hopefully you had fun watching this. Hopefully no one's too hurt about it. And if your feelings are hurt, tough titty. Yeah. I still love you, but tough titty. Go fuck yourself. Nah, I get. I'm just savage. It's all an act. It's all for the Twitch bucks. That's all. But all right, guys. Thank you very much. That'll do it. Oh yeah, I promise, Graham. Fine. As a reminder, we have the online World Championships starting this week on Friday. Round 1 pairings will come up. I will officially tell you that as of this recording, at this very moment, you are 49 minutes late to submit your deck list. But if you want to submit a late deck list, you might want to message Graham. Maybe he can grease some wheels for you and let you get in the last second. But I highly encourage you all to play in online worlds. It will be a little bit competitive, so if you are going to bring your fun Warlord, understand, like, you might play against the Darmies or Zods or Zagwadels. But still, like, playing online Warlord, again, is the whole reason why I had this channel, and I can do these kind of fun streams that give you guys 5e decks and let you all have some creative ideas. So, playing these events, they're a lot of fun. Even if you can't play the whole event, play a few rounds and then drop. Because then Wes has to do some figure out on how to drop you and or re-add you. But either way, guys, there you go. My obligation to Graham has been checked. But I will see you all probably Friday, and let you know when my round 1 comes. I'll make sure that might be Saturday actually. I don't know, but either way, I'll be streaming my matches Online Worlds. I mean, decks are already in. Do I already want to tell what my Warlord is? I mean, it might be an Elf Necromancer.
Rigged.
So there you go. I'm playing an Elf Necromancer. Now you all figure out which one. But stay tuned for those streams. Those will coming. We'll be coming back to the Wheel of Woodrow. We'll be coming back to giving away packs. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But we will see you all for Online Worlds. So thank you very much, everybody. Take it easy. Have a good one. Bye-bye.